What caused silver to have such a horrific day yesterday? It was crazy. It was as bad as it gets. But we want to know what caused this to happen. We're going to cover that in this video. I dug in deep and we got a lot of things to cover. A multitude of reasons that we can attribute to why silver got absolutely crushed yesterday. Did you see it? I mean, yesterday morning, silver was flying high. Susie told me silver's up 4%, almost $1. I thought our time has come. We've been delivered. And then within the matter of just an hour and a half, silver crashed, and by the end of the day was down more than 6% from its high. What caused this to happen? What do we know about the number of ounces digitally that were traded yesterday on the Comex, that wonderful place, the Comex, where the price of silver is quote unquote established? What do we learn if we look at the actual number of digital ounces that were traded yesterday? Peter Spina on X pointed out that yesterday alone on the Comex, there were 550 million digital ounces of silver traded. Now, what does that mean to us? Why is that important? I'll tell you why that's very, very important, and that's because on an annual basis, all the silver mines in the world only produce about 850 million ounces. So what does that tell us when we know that yesterday on the digital exchange, where the price of silver is quote unquote determined or discovered, that they traded more than half of the annual actual physical mine production in digital silver, and they crashed silver? To me, and I wonder how you feel about this, but to me, that shows that what happened yesterday had nothing to do at all with physical silver. It was completely electronic. Now, what does it mean when you've got a ton of the top people who followed silver for decades, including myself, saying that yesterday was the weirdest, most extreme, bizarre day that they've ever seen during their career? Because a lot of people are saying that, and if you dig into the analysis that's out there, everyone is saying that was the worst, the most extreme, most bizarre price action we have ever seen. What can we take away from that? Well, I'll tell you something. When we have weird action that usually precedes another big move, I'm hoping, I'm thinking and feeling that this next move could be higher, but we'll have to see how that works out. What else could have caused this situation yesterday? I received an interesting email from a gentleman who said he had information that indicated that a lot of big investors are liquidating because of major losses in bonds. He spoke specifically to someone he knew who told him that they had to sell a chunk of their precious metals to offset major losses they've had in their bond portfolios. That could be the case. And of course, right, you know, what do you think about this thesis? There's people that say that before a big general market pullback, a big general market crash, that we'll also see major drawdowns in the silver and gold price. That's the prevailing thesis, right? When the market crashes, when the market goes down, and we've already had that in the bonds like we just talked about, people liquidate their silver and gold because they need the money. I don't know, but that could be a potential reason as well. First Mining Gold is a development company advancing two of the largest gold projects in Canada. Springpole in Ontario and Duparquet, located in Quebec, each already has 5 million ounces of gold reserves, but exploration initiatives are underway at both projects to find even more gold. First Mining is well-financed, has zero debt, and owns an interest in 4 additional Canadian gold development projects. And what about you and me? Retail investor demand. How do we factor into this equation? I'm hearing from a number of sources that we have a lot of retail investors who are selling their silver right now. That certainly doesn't help the situation. We are the marginal source of demand in the silver market. Retail investors do impact the price of silver. I don't know how much it played into yesterday's absolute crazy moves, but when I'm talking to my sources in the retail investor community, coin shops, bullion dealers, they are telling me that they're seeing a rather large uptick in some people wanting to sell their silver. So it's not helping the situation. Now, the other thing we can consider, end of quarter, September 30th, 9/30, 2023. End of quarter dates can often be very crazy in the precious metals markets as well. You could have had some big player that exasperated the move that we had yesterday because they wanted to position themselves or manipulate their books for the end of the quarter. But no matter how we look at it, what happened yesterday was not good. It was not a fun day to be invested in the silver market. It appeared that everybody was selling. But let's circle back to what we talked about earlier. Everybody was selling, but it was electronic silver. Guys, it was 550 million digital ounces of silver that got sold yesterday on the Comex, which we also refer to as the Crimex, because they have been proven to be somewhat fraudulent in their price discovery process for the price of the metals. Don't forget, JP Morgan, two traders recently were convicted for spoofing in the precious metals market. And if the government could catch two people that have the best lawyers, the best legal defense, and get convictions, you know that's just the tip of the iceberg. And you know that there are other people who have spent decades upon decades doing extensive research to prove that the price of the metals is both suppressed and manipulated. What about the prospect that China's economy is slowing down at a very rapid pace? That's also being proposed as a reason why we could be seeing a decrease in demand for silver. I don't necessarily buy that one. I think demand from China for silver remains robust. We know that as of just a few weeks ago, silver was trading at a 12% premium on the Shanghai Gold Exchange and the Shanghai Futures Exchange. And we know there's been much noise coming out of China over the last year regarding their distaste toward the Crimex and the price discovery mechanism that currently exists in the West. China's crying, we need more silver, and we actually need higher silver prices to make that a reality. Because don't forget, guys, almost nobody is mining silver anymore. It's just not economic, and nobody's recycling silver because it doesn't become economic until we get to about a $50 per ounce silver price. I can't wait till we get to that day, $50 silver price. And from there, I believe we can even go higher. If you want to get yourself some silver right now, hey, go check out sponsor of Ron's Basement, Pimbex, Pimbex.com. They're an online bullion dealer. I've worked with them. I trust them. I know their prices are always the best, and their service, well, they check that box as well. Check out Pimbex if you want to get your hands on some of this silver that I think is selling at a pretty good discount right now. Hey, thanks for joining me here in the basement. At the end of the day, we don't know for sure what caused this craziness in the silver market. There's a lot of ideas, a lot of thesis, but the biggest one that I'll fall back on is the fact that we had 550 million ounces of unicorn fart dust electronic silver traded yesterday, and that killed the price. That's electronic silver. And when you look at the physical market, I think there's a different way to look at what's going on and what we have to look forward to in the future. You take care of yourself, and I'll see you soon.